If your clothing brand doesn't feel legit yet, it's probably not because your logo isn't clean enough, or your photos aren't artsy enough, or you don't have a fancy office. The number one reason your brand doesn't feel legit is people don't feel safe buying from you yet. Not emotionally safe, financially safe. Because legit is just another word for trusted, right? A trust isn't a vibe. A trust is a system. Hey, I'm Christian Pignon, one of the co-founders here at BitBranding. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale online. Appreciate it if you like, subscribe, so you don't miss any of our latest content. So when a stranger lands on your site for the very first time, their brain is doing one job, and it's deciding if you are real and if you are going to deliver. Because the internet is basically one giant mall where half the stores are pop-up tents run by raccoons with Shopify accounts. So the customer is really scanning for signals that answer these three questions. One, are these products actually good? Two, will I actually receive what I paid for? And three, if something goes wrong, will you help me or ghost me? If you don't clearly answer those three questions, your brand will feel like a project and not really a company, right? And here's how you fix it. Think of trust like a bridge. On one side is the customer's money, and on the other is your product. Now, your job is to build enough planks so they'll walk across without actually falling over. And the mistake most clothing brands make is they only build one plank. They maybe build aesthetics, or they build a clean logo and a nice color palette, or a cool photo shoot, maybe even a decent Instagram grid, right? None of that actually guarantees delivery. None of that reduces risk. So the customer thinks, cool brand, but I don't know if I should actually risk it. And data actually backs this up. Average cart abandonment is about 70%. That means most shoppers are already leaning no unless you actually reduce friction and fear. So let's actually build a real trust system. The trust system piece number one is social proof that actually feels alive and it's not staged. So most brands, and you know this, you know that you need reviews, but they actually treat reviews like a little checkbox. And here's the reality: customers are review detectives. One stat that's actually floating around says that 91% of consumers actually read at least one review before purchasing. That means that if you don't actually have reviews, or you're not just missing a nice to have, you're missing the thing that customers use to calm their nervous system before they actually buy. And here's the key: it's not only do they have reviews, it's do your reviews actually feel current? Do they feel real? Because a brand with 47 reviews from 2021 feels like a brand that just dropped one album and just kind of disappeared into the nothingness, right? So what do? You build a review engine. After purchase, you send a simple email flow. The delivered email, 2 days later, how's the fit? 5 days later, quick review. Final email, add a photo and we'll send you a little gift. It's not a massive discount. It's not something that's in your face that's gonna absolutely destroy your margins. You just want a small incentive that makes people actually do it. And also, don't just show star ratings. Show the fit feedback, height, weight, usual size purchased, because all of this reduces risk. The trust system piece number two, product pages that answer objections before they actually form. So your product page is not a billboard, it's actually a salesperson. And a legit salesperson doesn't just say, this hoodie is fire. They say, here's why this hoodie is worth it. Here's what it feels like. Here's how it fits. Here's how you care for it. Here's what happens if you actually don't like it. This is where most brands lose the legit feeling. They have one lifestyle photo, maybe a 2-line description, or maybe a line description that they got from their vendors, and a size chart that just kind of looks like a big chart with a bunch of numbers that I don't even know if it's inches or centimeters. If you want to be legit, your product pages need to remove uncertainty. So you need to add this. You need to add a fit guide that's actually in plain English, a short video showing the fabric, how it moves, close-up texture shots, shipping timeline that's very specific, return policy that's human, not return is accepted within 30 days, right? Try it on at home. If it's not your fit, start the return. Just 2 clicks. The more specific that you are here, the safer it actually feels. And safety equals legit. Now, trust system piece number 3. Policies that are visible before they actually reach checkout. To me, this is pretty crazy. A lot of brands just hide their policies, like they're ashamed of them. But big brands do the opposite. They actually make policies obvious because it lowers anxiety. Put your shipping and returns details near the add to cart button on your product page. Put it in the cart, put it in the checkout, because checkout is where doubt actually screamed the loudest. What I'm trying to say here really is that you don't want to make someone hunt for answers. They don't want to hunt. They're going to leave. There's a trust system piece number 4. You need borrowed trust. If you're small and you can't rely on brand recognition, so you must borrow trust. And you do that through 3 different channels: UGC, influencers, community validation. And it's not like I love this brand so much, UGC, right? That just kind of sounds like AI wrote it. I'm talking about UGC, influencer content that actually showcases the product in real life. We're talking about unboxing, trying it on, the outfit styling, a mirror selfie, the laundry test, the day in the life, right? Like, if you can show the product being used by real humans, you actually skip the is this actually real, question, because humans trust humans. So build a UGC pipeline every week. Do something simple. Reach out to 10 customers. Offer store credit in exchange for a quick try-on clip. It's that easy. Then you can use that content everywhere. Product pages, email, ads, TikTok, Instagram Reels. Now your brand actually feels like it has momentum. Momentum feels legit. Now I want you to comment down below. What's the biggest thing that you think it's making your brand not feel legit right now? Is it the website, photos, not enough sales, not enough followers? I want to know in the comments down below. Now, trust system piece number 5 is consistency across touch points. Here's where legit actually becomes obvious. And legit brands feel like one person speaking, not 5 different personalities, depending on where you found them. So like if your TikTok is goofy, but your website is super luxury and your emails are very robotic and your packaging is just kind of blank, that doesn't feel like a brand. That feels like a bunch of different parts. Consistency means you're using the same tone of voice, the same visual standards, the same core message, the same promise, the same why us. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but you need to be coherent. Because again, coherence signals maturity. Maturity signals legitimacy. Now this is trust system piece number 6. Make your offer feel like a no-brainer. Even if you're brand new, you can still feel legit if your offer reduces risk. That doesn't mean that you're going to be discounting 40% all the time. It means stacking reassurance. For example, free exchanges, easy returns, fast support, clear delivery times, real photos, fit guidance. All this stuff matters and all this stuff really adds on. Trust is one of the top drivers in purchase decisions, right up there with quality and value. And when trust is high, people spend more. So your goal at the end of this is not to necessarily look legit. I know that's why we started with this video, but it's actually to remove fear so trust can actually grow. Because trust doesn't just increase conversion, trust increases your average order value, trust increases repeat purchases, trust increases the word of mouth. And this is the last thing that I will leave you. This is the trust system piece number 7. You need one strong proof anchor. That's what I'm calling it. If you do nothing else after this video, at least do this. You pick one proof anchor and build it aggressively. Here are a few proof anchors that work insanely well for clothing brands. Number 1, number of customers served. Number of 5-star reviews. A signature product with a cult following. A transformation story from customers. A founder story that's actually very specific. A niche that's clearly owned. When a customer can grab onto one concrete proof point, your brand stops feeling like some random store with a bunch of random stuff. It starts feeling like, oh, this is a real brand with some real traction. And please hear me out on this. I don't think followers, I don't think they're necessarily a proof anchor. You can buy followers. You can't easily fake 200-300 fit specific reviews with photos, So if your brand doesn't feel legit yet, stop obsessing over aesthetic tweaks and start building actual proof. Now hold up just one second. I just want to say, if you are a clothing brand and you want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. We do have limited spots, so you can go find a time right now. There's a link in the description down below. If you want a super simple next step, here it is. This week, just pick one product. Update that product page with a better fit guidance, more real photos or UGC, clear shipping, returns near the add to cart, and some way to review, capture via email or SMS that starts the moment that the product actually gets delivered. You do that and your brand will start to feel legit faster than any other color or logo tweak or redesign ever could. And if you're wanting a little bit more, if you're wanting to know, Christian, what are the apps that are going to make me feel like I'm just starting out from, okay, this brand is pretty established, then you need to go watch this video here.